We're going to get started, first of all, with writer, executive producer Jon Favreau and director, executive producer Dave Filoni. Okay, this is our first live-action Star Wars television show. Can you guys talk a little bit about what is so appealing about that to you guys?
As somebody who grew up with Star Wars and really having been formed around what I experienced when I was little with the first film, there was some aesthetic to it that I really gravitated to, and my whole taste in movies was probably formed in a big way from seeing George Lucas's original film, and I learned about cinema through the lens of that film, because my father would explain to me, no, this is a lot like samurai movies, or this is a lot like westerns or World War II films, and so that became my inroad. And then there was the whole Power of Myth with Joseph Campbell and Bill Moyers that was filmed up at the ranch, and that opened me up to the mythic structure and the monomyth and my understanding of mythology and storytelling. And so to come back and return to this with the freedom that this new platform affords, because there's nothing to compare it to, nothing has been on TV other than the holiday special, and the idea of telling a story over more than just a couple of hours, told every few years, opens us up to this novelization of story, and a return back to the roots in many ways of the Saturday afternoon serial films that my parents' generation grew up with.
Absolutely. Dave, do you have anything to add to that?
I just found the whole thing exciting. I think as a kid growing up, you watch Star Wars, you think, I would watch this every week. And as television got more and more into genre over the years, and like I remember when Star Trek Next Generation came out and the promise of better visual effects on television, and it took big leaps. And you know, as somebody that's always been into fantasy science fiction, you were always waiting for a moment where you thought that what the images on television were as good as what you were seeing in the theater, but there was a big separation on it as a kid. And now I think it's gotten so close, and you know, it's one of the thrilling things. We can make something like Star Wars because technology has advanced, and that's one of the dreams that George had. Even when I worked with him on Clone Wars, he would talk about the future being streaming, the future being episodic serialized Star Wars, because like you said, it's what influenced him. So yeah, and it is cool to get to help make it. So
Please welcome Pedro Pascal, Gina Carano, and Carl Weathers.
How you doing, Pedro?
That's the first thing I heard.
Did you get some sleep, or did you just power through?
I powered through.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I'll sleep here.
Hello.
What was the moment you realized, I'm truly in the Star Wars universe? Pedro, what was it for you?
Well, putting the helmet on, for sure, which they had handy at our first meeting, and to see if it would fit. It fit perfectly, and I guess, you know, very simply, trying the costume on for the first time and looking in the mirror. You can't see very well through the helmet, but I got a pretty clear impression. And if you grow up, you know, playing with Star Wars toys and obviously seeing these movies, and then you're staring at yourself and you are the image of that kind of childhood imagination, it's a super pinch me moment. Quote me exactly. Super pinch me moment.
Is that a hashtag?
Super pinch. Super pinch. Hashtag super pinch. Mandalorian.
I think for me, it was my first day on set. Seeing the whole costume come together, and John and Dave came, and you know, they made such a big deal out of, oh my gosh, look how great you look. And I was like, wow, this is really great. But it really honestly was one of my favorite unforgettable moments, being on set, seeing the other cast members, but be it behind a helmet or a creature or this one.
Or this one.
This one right here. And then actually my first day on set, I was on a blurg. So I was up on this this big thing, and I was just like, okay, this is it. This is my life now. So it was incredible.